Great. And what are some ways with Nourish that you've worked across traditional boundaries?
I mean, working across traditional boundaries is a core piece of what we do. We're equipping students with the tools they need to be lifelong change makers. And one of those key tools is to be a cultural translator, which is what Cheryl Dorsey from Echoing Green says is her number one quality that allows her to be an effective social entrepreneur. And that we're equipping students with the tools to get things done, but also to connect with people, with populations, with communities that are really different from them. And that's across a bunch of different boundaries. That's economic and social class and national origin, ethnicity, language, all of these different divides. And we catalyze our students into being bridges to cross those sorts of divides. And that was something, and so drawing back to the example of our team in Turkey, that's the work that they were doing. This women's cooperative they were doing great work, but they, for a variety of reasons within Turkish culture, they weren't able to tell their story, get their story across to members of the elite, because it was a women's cooperative, so there's gender, and because a lot of the members were immigrants to Turkey, and so there was some ethnicity pieces, and they were poor, so there was class. And as far as tapping into international donor markets, they were communicating most predominantly during their presentations in Turkish, which isn't the language of international philanthropy, and so there was a language component as well. So our team was able to go in and help bridge some of those divides. So bridging divides is a core part of the work that we do. And I guess one other, distinct piece of our model that involves bridging divides is that we're bridging idealism and realism, and that I think the left of the past was very antagonistic toward, or felt threatened and antagonistic towards business, and some of that was rightfully for good reasons, some of that wasn't. I would posit, but we see business as a very powerful engine, and we want our students to be able to plug into that engine, to hook it up to social causes, things that are creating social value explicitly. And so by having our students learning entrepreneurship skills and leadership skills by starting businesses on their campuses, it's breaking that we people who do good, those people who do business, that sort of divide, us-them divide.
Definitely. And what are some of the challenges you see facing kind of young people or, our generation nowadays?
So I see really positive trends and really negative trends, and they're both accelerating. And so I think it's really, I'm uncertain how this is all going to play out. But as far as percentage of the world population living in extreme poverty, we're making major improvements in that. We're also becoming a more interconnected world in a way that I think is really positive, and our sense of a shared identity along the lines of just being human, as opposed to along the lines of being American or Christian or whatever those like other identity aggregates have been. I feel like there's a growing sense of global citizenship, that all people are equally human and equally entitled to a dignified life. And when that idea really percolates, policy is going to change, and we're going to restructure our systems to really meet the needs of all people. But that trend, which I'm very excited about, is in competition with these other trends like nuclear proliferation and environmental devastation, I would say, are the largest ones. And then AIDS, malaria.
Yeah.
It's just there and just there's also a fear that we're going to just keep kind of muddling on through and not living up to our potential as a species to really flourish in harmony with the flourishing of the rest of the planet.
And the last question is, what advice do you have for a young person who wants to get involved in their community or the political process or community service or youth mobilization? From someone who's been through this, what would you tell them?
I've got a couple of pieces of advice on that. One is to intentionally seek out meaningful eye-level exchanges, interactions with people who are outside of your comfort zone. So figure out who your we is and who your they is, and form some sincere relationships with some of the people in your they category. And soon your sense of we will expand to include them. I guarantee it. And I think the more we can be expanding the we, the better for our own transformation and transformation of our world. And so building that global citizen perspective and developing cross-cultural skills is one half of the equation, I think, and the other is building a getting things done skill set. So, like, do you know how to lead? Do you know how to do mail merge? And just developing a robust, I know how to get things done skill set, which a lot of ways is through practice of change making and practice of starting things and leading things. And I would encourage people to see, young people to see where they're at in life as a bit of a sandlot where you can, or a sandbox where you can play and experiment in getting things done, changing the world. And sometimes the initiatives that you start are going to fail, but there's tons of learning that happens in that. And at the end of the day, what we need is powerful, lifelong change makers, and those are the activities that are going to create those people. And then if we can get these powerful, lifelong change makers to network with each other and collaborate, have children or not children together, but birth initiatives together, I think we might be able to start really chipping away at these what appear to be intractable problems, such as global poverty, such as rampant disease, nuclear proliferation, environmental devastation.